Hello friends, welcome to my kitchen. There is no Christmas food that I can identify with more than my grandmother's date nut squares. We had them every year growing up as kids, and it just wouldn't be Christmas without them. I did have the recipe passed on to me, and now I'd like to share it with you because maybe your family can enjoy them as much as mine did. So let's get in the kitchen and get started. For this recipe, you will need some pitted dates, some walnuts, some salted butter, 4 eggs, some baking powder, some iodized salt, all-purpose flour, and sugar. That's it. First thing we want to do is preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Then we're going to pop 2 sticks of butter into the microwave for about 1.5 minutes to get that nice and melted. We can start with our dates. We need 2 cups of finely chopped dates. Spend a couple minutes just kind of going through them and just cut them down as best you can. They don't have to be perfect. So we got 2 cups there. And then the same thing with the walnuts. We want to cut them down pretty fine, but we don't want to use a food processor. They can be a little bit rough. We just want all the big pieces to be kind of cut down a little bit. And we want 2 cups of the chopped walnuts, just like that. Now we can begin preparing the wet ingredients. In a large mixing bowl, crack 4 eggs. Whisk that together for about 1.5 minutes to get it started. Then add in your melted butter, as well as 2 cups of granulated sugar. And then the recipe says to blend this with a fork, not a whisk, not an electric mixing bowl. Then you want to add in 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, as well as 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and a good pinch of the table salt, and mix that into the flour before you mix the whole batter together, just like that. So I'm assuming she's saying to use a fork instead of a whisk or electric mixer, just so I don't overmix or homogenize it too much. And that came together in about 1 minute or so to about that consistency. I did use a spatula for the edges though, as needed. Then dump in your dates and your walnuts. And the first time that I made this, I thought that maybe I made a mistake because it was so thick. But if you just kind of mix it around for 2 or 3 minutes, it will start to get wet. All the dry ingredients will get wet. And that's literally what the recipe says, that you don't want to over mix it. It's supposed to be chunky and gooey like that. You just want all the dry ingredients to become wet. You can butter or use a nonstick spray on your Pyrex or brownie pan if you'd like. I just use nonstick spray this time. And then just pour your batter in there and just kind of smear it around until it's evenly distributed. Now we're going in the oven, 350 degrees for 40 minutes. The recipe says that you're looking for a dark golden brown. But if you do a knife test, you want it to still be moist in the middle. You don't want the knife to come out completely dry. Otherwise, it'll get too hard to cut or to eat. So don't overcook it. Check it at 40 minutes and take it out, and you want it to be a little bit moist inside. After about an hour of letting this rest, we can start cutting it up. And you want to kind of be careful to not chew it up too much, but it is super gooey and sticky on the inside, and that's part of the fun of it. So if they're not perfect squares, it's not the end of the world. But after you score it, you want to use a big spatula to take out 2 or 3 at a time. You can't take out 1 piece at a time, it's just too hard. And then just layer it however you want, or you can add it to tins for a gift, and enjoy.